dust of forgotten covenants drifts in the air, law suspended in a frozen prayer. Stone remembers the first sworn breath, the vow that bound both life and death. Within its vault, the echoes turn, old embers of agreement burn.
Every arch bears scripted flame, every seal repeats a name.
Cycles kneel beneath the dome, time chained to a silent throne.
The contract hums in rigid tone, claiming ages as its own.
Not by truth does it endure, but by repetition made secure.
Visions flare along the wall, the primal pact that started all. Hands once raised in solemn light, binding dawn to endless rite.
But presence enters, still and vast. Await, no memory can outlast. No blade is drawn, no challenge cried, yet ancient structures strain inside.
The Nova tempts its ancient claim, projecting origin and flame.
The first accord, the sacred word, the cosmic oath that once was heard.
Yet under gaze that does not bend, the pillars tremble at their end.
The vow begins to taste its seam, a fracture born where none could dream. Stone cannot command the breath that walks unharmed through living death.
The contract falters in its core, its certainty intact no more.
Hairline cracks no eye can trace, spread within the sacred space, not shattered by a wrathful blow, but by the truth it cannot hold.
Stone cannot command the breath.
sealed nave. A silent wound begins to cave.
The ancient pact, long thought supreme, now trembles like a broken beam. And in that stillness, vast and great, the first unseen fissure is made.
The nave stands beyond the last decree, its pillars carved from ancient memory. Dust of forgotten covenants drifts in the air, law suspended in a frozen prayer. That once was heard, yet under gaze that does not bend. The pillars tremble at their end. The vow begins to taste, it seemed, a fracture born where none could dream. Stone cannot command the breath that walks unharmed through living death. The contract falters in its core, its certainty intact no more.
Hairline cracks, no eye can trace, spread within the sacred space, not shattered by a wrathful blow,
But by the truth it cannot hold. In the heart of the sealed nave, a silent fissure widens through the nave. A silent tear no seal can save. Ancient vows begin to strain, threads of law pull tight in pain. From the fracture shapes arise, not born of chaos or disguise. Wardens formed of oath and flame, keepers of a borrowed claim. Bound by fear and old condition. What is divine when it must repeat the same old word to remain complete? The guardians advance in measured line, geometry cold and design precise. No hatred burns within their core, only duty sworn before. The central mark of binding flame flickers at the spoken claim, not eternal by living breath, but sustained by mirror death. The earth begins to crack and bend, its rigid axis near the end, not shattered by destructive might, but by unveiled and steady sight. Palm you tremor, shake the ground, double kick in iron sound. The wardens falter not from fear, but from truth drawing near. The oath begins to crack and bend, its rigid axis near the end, not shattered by destructive might, but by unveiled and steady sight. Palm you tremors, shake the ground, double kick in iron sound. The wardens falter not from fear, but from truth drawing near. The seal ignites in fractured glow, a pulse that slows beneath the flow. The covenant, once vast and whole, now trembles in its hidden soul. It is not broken by a scream, nor drowned within a blazing partition slides.
The contract stands no longer, crowned is thrown undone without a sound.
Silent here, no seal can say. Ancient vows begin to strain. Threads of law pull tight in pain. From the fractured shapes arise, not born of chaos or disguise. Wardens formed of oath and flame, keepers of a borrowed claim.
They stand with power in living frame, continuity without a name. Eyes of script and breath of decree, guarding endless memory.
Their voices roll like iron tide, proclaiming order fortified. The pact is sacred, sealed in light, beyond decay, beyond the blind. Yet what is eternal when chained to repetition? Bound by fear and old condition.
What is divine when it must repeat the same old word to remain complete?
The guardians advance in measured line, geometry cold and design precise. No hatred burns within their core, only duty sworn before.
Batsman flash, he does not roar. He stands where ancient forces pour. No blade descends, no heaven split. Yet under gaze, the seals are knit.
The central mark of binding flame flickers at the spoken claim. Not eternal by living breath, but sustained by mirrored death. The oath begins to crack and bend its rigid axis near the end. Not shattered by destructive might, but by unveiled and steady sight. Palm you tremor, shake the ground. Double kick in iron sound. The wardens falter not from fear, but from truth drawing near.
The seal ignites in fractured glow, a pulse that slows beneath the flow.
because its root was hollow. Forced to lead, yet made to follow. And as the ancient vow divides, the heart of repetition slides. The contract stands no longer crowned, it's thrown undone without a sound. Beyond the broken covenant flame, a deeper chamber bears no name. Its pillars rise in silent light, forged before the birth of night. At its center, veiled and bright,
A sphere condensed of a rigid rite, the hidden engine of decree, the core of sealed divinity.
structure shift in later planes, geometry forged of ancient chains, walls of law and order design.
Guard the pulse of the absolute sign.
No guardian stands with sword in hand. The fortress is the living plan. Reality stacked in rigid frame, defending truth reduced to name. Light compresses into glare, demanding worship, breath and prayer. It claims dominion over time, over fate and origin spine. Yet presence move without a sound, and silent weight distorts the ground. No strike is cast, no heavens torn, yet certainty begins to
Begins to pulse and strain, its symmetry undone by strain. What once declared itself supreme now flickers like a fractured beam. The absolute reveals its seam.
dependent on a mirror dream. Its brilliance fed by endless claim. Not living fire, but repeated flame. The chamber trembles vast and wide as rigid axioms divide. Columns bend and angles sway, the hidden core gives way. It reaches through the blinding sphere, not with wrath and not with fear. dissolves its throne. No longer sovereign, no longer alone.
Truth once distant, cold and sealed, now stands within, complete revealed.
The chamber empties into flame, released from its recursive claim. Beyond the wreck of sacred art, a wider horizon and through the fading radiant dawn, a path unfolds to the unknown. The broken covenant flame, a deeper chamber bears no name. Its pillars rise in silent light,
Forged before the birth of night, at its center veiled and bright.
a sphere condensed of rigid ride,
Hidden engine of decree,
the core of sealed divinity. Shift and later planes, geometry forged of ancient chains, walls of law in order design.
guard the pulse of the absolute sign. No guardian stands with sword in hand.
The fortress is the living plan,
Reality stacked in rigid frame,
defending truth reduced to name. Light compresses into like a fractured beam.
the absolute reveals its seam.
Dependence on a mirror dream.
Its brilliance fed by endless clay.
Not living fire but repeated trembles vast and wide as rigid axioms divide. Columns bend and angles
The
sway.
hidden core gives way.
He reaches through the blinding sphere,
Reaches through the blinding sphere.
not with wrath and not with fear.
Sealed decree collapses inward.
Drawn into a deeper order.
Drawn
celestial core burns without mercy. A nucleus suspended in blinding rigidity. Light pressed into a sphere of command, law compressed into radiant density. The chamber tightens around the poles. Angels converge, space narrows.
Every surface vibrates with decree. Every breath tastes of
The core projects its sovereign claim. Origin, authority, absolute flame. It names itself the axis of order. It names itself the spine of time. But brilliance begins to fracture. Its glow trembles under unseen weight. The rhythm of its pulse stutters. Certainty wavers inside its own fire.
presence moves through the radiance. Not a strike, not a cry, just pressure.
Dense and unyielding, the sphere resists. Its surface tightens into pure glare. Its symmetry strains. Lines of force begin to split.
Tins along hidden seams.
The sacred engine convulses. Its claim to eternity falters. Its structure collapses inward. The blaze that crowned the heavens now flickers in its own containment. The radiant throne fractures under weight it cannot measure. The seal around the core shatters. A hidden current breaks free.
Not born of the sky, but older than its vault. Flame
Access the celestial core caves inward and yields its concealed stream.
not born of the sky, but older than its fault. Flame bends.
Axis tilts, the celestial core caves inward and yields its concealed stream.
The river beneath time awakens, the sky bows, and the flow begins to change.
The foaming current opens wide, black water tearing through stone. In its wake, bone and crown, thrones fused with flesh. They rise from the severed stream, skilled and crowned in fractured gold. Six sovereign aberrations carved from ruin and hunger. Steel hides in their marrow, rocket hearts in their blood.
Each breath a challenge, each breath a blade.
The first lunges, horn and flame. The ground splits under impact. Claws collide with iron pulse. Sparks scatter like dying stars.
No measured right, only
Collision, fracture. The second unfurls wings of sinew, a howl without sky. It strikes through shadow and meets resistance like granite. Bone clicks, armor tears. The river churns, red and black. Dominion tests its edge, one falls, refined in collapse. Its core ripped clean of defiance, its essence hardened, forged into weapon.
The third kneels not in fear, but in recognition. Power bends where it understands. It offers its furnace
Dynasty of hybrid sovereigns, your reign fractures under pressure. Not erased, transformed, not silenced, consumed. The fourth charges with molten spine. The fifth roars in shattered cadence. The sixth fractures space itself. All crash against unyielding mass.
Their fury feeds the storm. Their storm feeds the blaze.
Six presents ignite the current and burn into new pillars. The river beneath
first lunges torn and flame. The ground splits under impact. Claws collide with iron pulse. Sparks scatter like dying stars.
No diplomacy, no measured right, only collision.
Only fraction.
The second unfurls wings of sinew, a howl without sky. It strikes the shadow and beats resistance.
Like granite.
No cracks in the mountain.
The red legends renegade.
Numbing and tests its edge.
One falls, refined in collapse. Its core ripped clean of defiance. Its essence hardened, forced into weapon. The thought kneels not in fear, but in recognition. Power bends where it understands. It offers its furnace heart.
Dynasty of hybrid sovereigns.
Your reign fractures under pressure.
Not erased.
Transform, not silenced. The fourth charges with molten spine. The fifth roars in shattered cadence. The sixth fractures space itself.
All crash against unyielding mass.
Their fury feeds the storm.
Their storm feeds the blaze.
Six presents ignite the current and burn into new pillars. The river beneath time surges. The Chimera throne collapses. Its crown sinks into the torrent and rises, reshaped in iron.
The dynasty is broken. The power remains. Six flames endure within the devouring
The sky fractures above the river, and those voiced horizon folds inward. Clouds grind against unseen pressure, like bends into a broken arc.
The first strike splits the air.
A shockwave ripples through iron wind.
Voices collide, abyss and summit.
Two currents locked in ascent and beset. The geometry convulses.
Lines that rule the firmament distort.
oscillates under new command.
The fragment pulses in raw dominion.
And the river answers.
Clouds glide against unseen pressure.
Light bends into a broken arc. The fabric space splits the air. A shockwave ripples through iron wind, and voices collide, abyss and summit.
Two currents locked in ascent and descent. Lines that rule the firmament you store.
Constellations stagger out of alignment.
The vault groans under its own design.
He advances through the distortion, vote against trembling ether. The core understands in warp dominion.
Crowned in curvature. Space itself twists in agony.
Rise together.
A cavern tearing through marble.
A blade of silver piercing stars.
Sound against sound.
Fire against frost.
Fire against
The first collapse tears open distance.
the second shatters continuity.
Fragments of time scatter.
Across the convulsing firmament.
He grips the warped horizon.
Fingers dig into bent light.
The fragment of curved time
Breaks loose.
with violent clarity.
The sky bows under pressure.
Thunder cracks through twisted planes.
Voices entwine in ruthless union.
Driving fracture, deeper still. The core kind has dominion splinter. His arc of command unravels. Curvature yields to weight. The vault straightens in ruin. Now, silence trembles.
The last distortion fades.
Fragment burned in clenched grasp. The heavens require. The sky bends no longer.
Time oscillates under new command.
The fragment pulses in raw dominion.
And the river
the sky. The sky burns no longer. 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 The old geometry convolves.